Yo, peace everyone. MC Till here with the Boom Bap Review and the Native Tongues Review. And this album is Michael by Killer Mike. When I was growing up, I first got introduced to hip hop through artists like LL Cool J and KRS-One and Digital Underground and Run DMC, and then got really into the Native Tongues. De La Soul was like my favorite ever. Del the Funky Homo Sapien, the hieroglyphics, and like that type of music was just, I just loved it. And then Wu-Tang came out, and Nas and Biggie and all that, AZ, OC. Like, I was just a huge fan of the more, East Coast boom bap feel. Even if it was, it didn't matter where the music came from, but it just had that boom bap feel to it. Is what I just love that. And to this day, I just love that sound. And so Killer Mike through the years has put out music that has never really put out music that I really got into personally. I recognize that it's really good and can acknowledge that for sure. But he's not an artist that I would go to and just pop it in and just keep listening to his albums over and over again, even though I respect what he does and have been a fan, of who he is and the quality of music that he puts out, whether it resonates with me personally or not. I also have to say that I really do like this album. This album's called Michael, like I said, and I like it. Even though some of the beats on here are not usually what I typically get into, hey, music is like that. Sometimes music just hits you and when you don't think it's going to, and this album really did. And I think Killer Mike, regardless of whether I get into his music personally or not, following him since the organized noise days, the Dungeon Family days, when he was rapping, with Outkast and all that, like following him throughout his career, I feel like Killer Mike is hands down, no question about it, one of the greatest MCs of our time, probably of all time. And hip hop is notorious for debating, so we can debate that, but he can rhyme like no other. He has an incredible cadence, an incredible flow. He can rhyme on any beat. He rhymes on, the more typical, Dirty South, Southern beats. He rhymes over beats that, have a much more East Coast feel. LP gives him all kinds of crazy stuff to rhyme over. He sounds good over anything. He meets the beat. He gets comfortable with it. He makes himself at home. He kicks off his shoes, props up his feet. He sounds natural over any beat. He's really that dope as a lyricist. And then he has something to say. He's always thought-provoking, whether you or I agree with him, all the time or not. That's besides the point. But he always has something to say that's meaningful and thought-provoking, makes me think. So I think Killer Mike is one of the greatest of all time, personally. I'm curious to know what you think about that statement and what you think about Killer Mike in general. And as always, let's have a conversation. All right, y'all. Peace.